In the lower left there. Huh? Oh, Capella's on it. Are we ready to go?
I see that live on the top, right? Is that what that means? It says connected up.
All right, here we go. Welcome everybody tonight to our May 6th town board meeting. And this is a first for us. We're going to do it virtually, and we're going to hope for the best. So we'll see how it goes. Before we start, I'd like to just say the pledge. There's a flag up there at one of the pictures, so just stand up. Steady, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, lead us. I pledge allegiance
To the flag
To the
of
flag
the United States.
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you, Stephen. Good job. Okay, let me just see if we can see who's up here on the screen. On the top left is our town attorney, Dave Zagon, Councilperson Sylvia Santiago, Councilperson Stephen Padetti, Councilperson Andrew Rigabaum, Councilperson Stephen Moreau. We have our transcriber with us tonight, Fran Roth, and I think someone who's going to make a presentation on one of the public hearings. And I'm George Myers, and we'll start off tonight. We have a public hearing regarding a request for administrative relief from Dr. Jonathan Fugo. He's looking for some relief from the temporary moratorium. So is Dr. Fugo with us?
I don't see him, no, George.
Give him a minute and see if he shows up. Dave, was there any correspondence from him, whether he was going to try and get on or what?
Not today, but Patrick and I spoke to him the other day to make sure that he was able to use the WebEx app to get on. Thought he had every intention of doing so, but I don't know. If he's not here, he's not here.
Not here, he's not here. We'll give it a minute and then we'll move on. All right, any of the council people want to speak to this moratorium regarding Dr. Fugo?
No, I'm good.
Okay. So I guess it's hard for me to ask any questions if he's not here. So at this point,
Yeah.
Chair will entertain a motion.
I was going to say I had questions for him, but I nothing to do without him here.
Yeah, it's tough to question him when he's not with us, but okay.
George, I would just note for the record that we did receive correspondence from Dr. Fugo setting forth the reasons behind his application for administrative relief. He also provided the board with a rendering of the proposed building that he wants to construct on the property, as well as a site plan and a list of purported expenses that he has incurred as a result of his trying to develop this property. So those will be entered into the record on his behalf.
Okay, and the town board, each town board member has a copy of those things, so we'll.
Want to see if there's anybody else from the public. I'm sorry to interrupt, but whether there happens to be anybody else who wants to speak on this?
I don't know, Patrick?
Got anybody?
From the public unmuted, is anything on?
If there's nobody, there's nobody.
Move along. Chair will entertain a motion. Town board time to close the public hearing, the matter request from Dr. Jonathan Fugo for administrative relief in local law 1/2020, temporary moratorium. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Moreau,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. So the board will review what's on the record and we'll make a determination at the June meeting, and we'll see where it's going. Okay, next we have public hearings regarding an increase and improvement of facilities at Cesar Lane's wastewater treatment plant, disinfection system improvement project, chlorination, dechlorination. So it'd be sewer district 1, 2, 3, extension 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 21. So at this point, it'll be open to the public for any comments that they want to make, and we'll just kind of stand by for a couple seconds, see if anybody.
Is that 21 or 24?
Which one?
The last
This
district.
24 is the last one.
Okay.
There's no 21. I mean, I'll just make some comments that these improvements are the first step in many steps of expanding and upgrading the sewer treatment plant. And we're under a decree from the state DEC to get this done. We have been for a number of years, and we really are really under the gun here. If we don't do it, then we're going to have some substantial fines. So I think that there's no recourse but to get going, and this is the first step in the get going. So I think that if there's anybody out there that really wants to submit a question, they can use the email address, which is questions@newwindsor, one word, -ny.gov. And they can submit that, and we'll be able to address any questions that you have. And there appears to be a number of other things. There's a phone number that we posted on the WebEx that you can call in if you have any questions, or if you get a little confused and can't do it, call my office tomorrow, and I would definitely address any questions that you have and answer them to the best of my ability. So sometimes it's hard to get onto some of these things, but I will definitely address anything tomorrow that you can't get addressed tonight because you had trouble getting through to us. As you know, we try to be as transparent as we possibly can here, and I'm available all the time for phone calls. So if you miss anything here, just call my office tomorrow, 563-4610, and I will address whatever questions you have. So anybody look like they're coming in here? All right. So here's what we have to do now. I have to close the public hearing, but we're required to close the public hearing individually for each sewer district. So we'll have those 20 some odd motions now, and it's just a matter of closing the public hearing for each sewer district. Okay, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvement of facilities of Sewer District 1, consistent with the construction of improvements of the Cesar Lane's wastewater treatment plant for chlorination, effluent limitation measures. This is the chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Councilman Rigabon,
Yes.
Grace Meeker.
Has joined the meeting.
Councilman Moreau,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Hold on a minute.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning the increase and improvement of facilities of Sewer District Number 2, consistent with the construction of improvements of the Cesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorination, effluent limitation measures, which is the chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigabon,
Yes.
Councilman Moreau,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvement of facilities of Sewer District Number 3, consistent with the construction of improvements of the Cesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Rigabon,
Yes.
Councilman Moreau,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvement of facilities of Sewer District Number 3, Extension 1, consisting of the construction of improvements of the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second. Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvement of facilities of sewer district number 4, consisting of the construction of improvements of the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvement of facilities of sewer district number 5, consisting of construction of improvements of the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvement of facilities of sewer district number 6, consisting of construction of improvements of Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvement of facilities of sewer district number 7, consisting of construction of improvements of the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvement of facilities of sewer district number 8, consisting of construction of improvements of the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, which is chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvement of facilities of sewer district 9, consisting of construction of improvements of the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvement of facilities of sewer district 10, consisting of construction of improvements of the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvements of facilities district, sewer district number 7, sewer district 11, consisting of construction of improvements of the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant, chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvements of facilities of sewer district number 12, consisting of construction of improvements of the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvement of facilities. Sewer District 13, consisting of construction and improvements of the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitations and measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvements of facilities Sewer District 14, consisting of construction and improvements of Caesars Lane's wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, which chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvement of facilities of Sewer District 15, consisting of construction improvements of the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination and dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvement of facilities Sewers District 16, consisting of construction and improvements of Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvements of facilities of Sewer District 17, consisting of construction improvements of Caesars Lane's wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitations, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvements of facilities of Sewer District 18, consisting of construction of improvements of Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvement of facilities of Sewer District 19, consisting of the construction of improvements of Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvement of facilities of Sewer District 20, consisting of construction of improvements of Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase improvements of facilities Sewer District 22, consisting of construction of improvements of Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase improvements of facilities Sewer District 23, consisting of construction of improvements of Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine effluent limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, close the public hearing concerning increase and improvement of facilities of Sewer District 24, consisting of construction of improvements to the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine and fluid limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Moreau,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, listen, I'm gonna just finish up with this Caesars Lane, wastewater treatment plant motions, and then I've been told that Dr. Fugo is on. Is he on, Patrick?
Yes, I'm here.
I'll get to you in a minute. I'm gonna reopen that public hearing since you came in a little late. You were the first item on the agenda, so we'll go back and revisit that in a couple of minutes, okay?
Sure. No problem. Thank you.
Stay with me. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board Town of Windsor hereby authorize the adoption of the attached resolution order of the increase in improvements of facilities of sewer districts 1, 2, 3, extension 3, extension 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, consisting of construction of improvements of Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorine and fluid limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Moreau,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisors Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board Town of Windsor hereby authorize the adoption of the board resolution for issuance of serial bonds not to exceed $5 million for the increase in improvement facilities of sewer districts 1, 2, 3, 3 extension 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 22, 23, 24, consisting of construction of improvements of the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant for chlorination and fluid limitation measures, chlorination, dechlorination. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Moreau,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, okay, so these last two motions have to do with that first step that we are going to expand that sewer treatment plant and bring it up to code that the DEC's been chasing around pretty hard. So there's a $5 million bond for this, and we're not going to reach that amount. As you hear a little later in some of our other actions, that the numbers came in a little lower than we thought, so it'll be something less than 5 million. But just so everybody understands, this is just the first step in many steps to get this plant upgraded from 5 million gallons a day to 8 million gallons a day. And right now, we seem to go over our flow limitations on a pretty regular basis, so we're in dire straits with this. And the whole project will probably run around 45 million when it's all said and done. So this is just the very beginning of a long process, but we are definitely heading in the right direction. Okay, so let me just jump back to the first public hearing when Dr. Fugo wasn't here. I'm going to reopen that public hearing. So Dr. Fugo can make any statements that he wants. Our attorney had read some things into the record about this project, but Dr. Fugo, it's on you.
Yeah, as I said, I put everything that I could, in as much detail as possible, into those notes to try to make it as succinct as possible. I'm happy to answer any questions or address any concerns that anyone might have. And that's really the purpose for being here, is just to, if any information is not clear or anybody has any specific questions for me, I'm happy to address those.
I just have a couple. Do you actually own that property?
I'm actually in contract on that property, and been in contract, but the contract is we have a contingency that I've got to get the approval I need before I move forward with the purchase.
So you are in contract to purchase the property?
Yes.
Okay, will you lose any money if you back out of the contract?
That's in question right now. I'm working through that with my attorney at the moment. I may lose my deposit. We're not sure yet.
Okay. Have you talked to your current landlord, the building that you're in, about extending your lease?
Yeah, we've talked about it. Needless to say, unfortunately, the building changed hands about a year ago. My prior landlord was very easy to reach, very easy to talk to, and very easy to work with. The current landlord does not fit any of those criteria, so it's been a little challenging to figure out where we're going to go from here.
Okay. Any council persons want to jump in here? Council people?
I have a couple of questions, if that's okay.
Andrew?
Yep.
Okay.
Dr. Fugo, first question on that lease that Supervisor Myers just asked you about. If you don't get in contact with your landlord, will the lease automatically renew for some period of time?
No, so it was a 5-year lease with an automatic 2-year extension, and that will bring me to the end of that automatic renewal. So anything I move forward with, we're going to have to renegotiate and figure out. And a lot of, this conversation is very different now after this COVID-19 than it would have been a couple months ago. So everything is in flux, and there's a lot of uncertainties. I'm just trying to cover my losses as best as possible.
When you say influx and uncertainties, are those in your favor based upon the current situation?
No, definitely not in my favor. No, obviously any planning and construction has been significantly delayed. Financially, this whole scenario, I think most physicians have taken a huge financial hit during this. And certainly my practice is no exception to that. So everything, once I'm back up and running, even a semblance of normal practice volume, I don't know when that will be. I'll have to sit down and just figure out, where to go from there. But obviously I've got a timeline I've got to stick to as best as I can. So I'm just taking things one day at a time right now, trying not to get too overwhelmed with everything that's happening.
So Doctor, correct me if I misunderstood, you had put in an initial letter and then I think a supplement. And the supplement is that you're not going to be building any shell space, as you called it?
Right. Yeah. So my initial plan for this property was to build a 9,900 square foot building. 5,000 of that would be utilized just for my office space, and the additional space was going to be used to house an additional practice or 2 practices of other medical professionals that want to have a presence in our community. But with the discussions about the wastewater treatment and the freshwater issues, that didn't seem to make a lot of sense. And so moving forward, my second proposal was just to not do the shell space and just do a 5,000 square foot building that would just house my practice and mine alone.
And how many bathrooms would be in that?
So it would be 2 employee bathrooms and 2 patient bathrooms.
And how many, besides yourself, how many employees would work there full time?
So I would have myself in the immediate time. There would be myself. I have a receptionist. I have a nurse practitioner, and I have a medical assistant. Down the road, sometime down the road, I need the space to expand my practice. So ultimately, eventually, it'll be adding a partner, another physician to the practice, but that's not going to be for probably another 5 to 7 years.
Okay. And in general, is there more than 1 or 2 patients in the office at any given time?
No, usually my practice is set up such that I have my nurse practitioner runs somewhat independently. So we each may have a patient in the office at any given time simultaneously, and usually not more than 1 patient in the waiting room. That's just how we run things.
Okay, I'm just trying to get an idea of traffic flow.
Yeah, so just to give you an idea of traffic flow, so I don't currently do office procedures, any surgical procedures in the office. And I see anywhere, depending on the consults, in an average day, I see anywhere from 10 to 25 patients in a day, depending on, the type of patient, type of consult. And my nurse practitioner currently sees about 5 to 7 patients a day, independently of my patients.
And that day is 9 to 5?
8 to 4, except Wednesdays where they're 8 to 6. And I am not there Tuesdays and Thursdays because I'm in the operating room Tuesdays and Thursdays.
All the questions I have. Thank you, Supervisor.
I have a question for you. Dr. Fugo, prior to your last appearance, to your appearance here at our town board meeting, when did you start your paperwork and everything? I know you're under the gun and you're in a pinch. When did you start the paperwork with the town to get in here?
So I'm trying to think back with my engineer, handled most of that paperwork. I'd have to go back. The original, so I know that our first meeting with the town was the day of the meeting for the moratorium. We met with the town engineer, and my engineer and I sat with the town engineer to go over our preliminary proposal to see if there were any major hangups. That's how I knew about the moratorium being discussed. He informed us at that meeting, which prompted me to go to do the town board meeting that night. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
How long you been in contract with the property there to build?
So we started negotiating that property in August of last year.
Okay. I don't have any more questions.
Okay. A last question for me. You would not have been before the planning board itself, right, at this point?
No, the only meeting I've had with anybody in the town was the town engineer for our to give our proposal before we submitted for formal approval.
Okay. Listen, I think, Dave, is there something you want to jump in with anything here? You good?
I'm good, nothing else.
Okay, so Dr. Fugo, I appreciate you tuning in tonight, I guess is the right term. We'll discuss this as a board and we'll have a decision at the June meeting.
Thank you all very much for your time, consideration. I appreciate it.
All right, I'm going to close the public hearing again, just so we have it on record. Town Board Town of Windsor closed the public hearing, the matter, second public hearing, request of Dr. Fugo, administrative relief motion.
Move.
Councilman Ray,
Patrick's getting me.
Take over, Andrew.
Be well, everybody. Thank you.
We didn't vote.
roll call.
Roll, I lost my voice.
You say first.
Let's try to get
First
roll call.
motion,
We're doing a roll call to close that public hearing.
Yes.
second,
Yes.
roll call. Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe, Councilman Benetti, Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Okay. Assuming I'm still alive. Now we'll go to public comments regarding anything on the agenda. So before we open up the public, town board want to say anything?
No.
Dave?
Chris Paytack it's like he's on the line. I don't know. He provided an email to me earlier, which I provided to the board. I provided a letter to the board, I should say, then sent an email with a statement that he wanted to make on the record. I do see he's here if he wants to make that statement, and he can make it himself, or I do have it and I can read it.
I don't know if you can hear or if I'm muted, but I'm fine in speaking.
Okay, you're not muted, so.
Okay. Well, thank you all. My name is John Capello. I'm an attorney with Jacob.
No, John, I'm sorry. Sorry. This wasn't for you. This was for Chris Paytack.
I'm sorry.
Chris, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
All right. So did you hear what I said before? I can read your statement or you can make it yourself if you want.
Well, I'm happy to speak a little bit on it. I know I only have a couple minutes.
Got a couple minutes.
So,
Chris, can you speak up a little bit, please? We can't hear you.
yeah, hello, I'm sorry. Can you hear me better?
A little bit closer to your mic if you can.
Okay, I got it right on my, it's right on my earpiece, so I'm sorry. I'll try to speak as loud as I can. Yeah, I did send the email with some information. I just wanted to kind of hit the bullet points because I think if I read it, I'll be over my time limit. In regards to the temporary moratorium on the development, I just wanted to ask that the community solar projects could possibly be excluded or exempted from that moratorium. Uh, I work for a company called Solar Energy Systems, and we haven't been able to make an application for a project in the area just because we kind of fall under the general restrictions on the moratorium, and because New Windsor does have a pretty comprehensive solar code already, we can abide by that, and we would not be taxing the resources that I understand the town does not want to, deplete for the regular development. So I'm happy to have just the statement included at whatever point, but if there's a possibility of getting, like I said, the large scale community solar projects exempted, I would just ask to consider that and review that.
Okay. Yeah. Chris, I've already provided the board with a copy of your letter. I'll provide them, if I haven't yet, with a copy of your email as well, and we'll enter both into the record. Okay. John? You there? Can you hear me? John Capello?
Yes, I can. I don't know if the board.
I also have your letter, which I provided to the board. I think I told you that earlier. I'll read it into the record if you like, or since you're here, you were able to make it. If you're okay with my foregoing of actually reading it, we'll enter it into the record as well. And I think you have some additional comments that you might like to make.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, board. For one, this is good to practice for next month. My name is John Capello. I'm an attorney with Jacobitz and Gubitz, and I'm here on behalf of Diversified Properties and DP Realty. As you know, we have an application that I believe tonight you will be setting the public hearing on for next month for relief of the moratorium, assuming you do extend the moratorium, which for reasons I'll state in a minute, I hope you don't. But I just wanted to make an offer to the board. There's a lot of information in that application, a year and a half synthesized into one application. We will be supplementing it with more documentation, but I would offer to the board as you read it, if there's any questions or concerns you have, we are open to discuss it with any individual board member. And I would also, in order to give you a flavor of the type Diversified does, I will provide the town clerk with addresses of property in the town of New Windsor and neighboring town of Newburgh, where Diversified and DP have developed quality housing that would be similar to what's proposed, so you can get a real view of what is proposed. I know there's been a lot of discussions, but a picture or a development is worth 1,000 words. So you could see the type of people who live there, the type of housing there, the type of amenities, and what you can be faced with. So, which we think is a very quality development. So offer that to you. We believe it's a positive development. And the other thing I'd like to speak, more general terms, I know this board adopted a moratorium in February, and as we're all aware, as we're sitting in our homes or offices on the web, the world has changed since February. What we thought may have been an influx of commercial development may not all come to fruition, and those that are able to continue will provide jobs in, very soon, short term, for people coming out of this who will be looking for job opportunities in construction and other types of areas. We're going to need to provide that. I would just ask you to re-examine your reasons for this moratorium, determine if they're still solid now. Tax ratables, are going to be a big concern. The revenue you may have thought you were seeing in February when you adopted the moratorium is not what you're going to be realizing in the 3 years. I wish that wasn't the case, but it is just simple reality. So I think all has to go into the thought process of whether you want to halt development. The other areas, I think you're making progress already in your short time in office for this new board. You're making concrete steps towards solving the problems that you identified as the reasons for the moratorium. Number one being sewer, as I listened tonight. You're making progress towards long-term solutions. That $45 million figure that Supervisor Myers mentioned, it would certainly help to have quality users. In addition, being able to assist you in funding those improvements that you need to make, whether the new development goes on or not. So once again, I would ask the board to reconsider whether you need a moratorium or whether you can move forward with your planning and this process and work with the proposals you have before you to help make it a better situation. So with that, I thank you for your time. I hope you all stay safe and look forward to speaking with you. Take care.
Patrick, we got anybody else?
So I'm gonna unmute the rest of the people dialed into the meeting. If anybody would like to speak, please do so now. Anybody?
That's it? Okay, Franny, I appreciate you helping us out tonight. All right, let's get on with the rest of this meeting. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, approve the minutes of the regular Town Board meeting held on April 1st, 2020, as per copies of the minutes posted at the Town Clerk's Bulletin Board and Town Hall, same having been distributed to each of Town Board members. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Reaganbaum,
Yes.
Monroe,
Yes.
Betty, Councilwoman Santiago. Sorry, Supervisor Myers.
Yes. All right, we have a few receiving files here. No objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor, receiving file with the Town Clerk, the attached deed for roads commonly known as Betsy Ross Ridge, McKinley Court, Hamilton Way, Colonist Trail, John Paul Jones, Panorama Drive, as well as water retention basins located on McKinley Court, Settlers Ridge, Panorama Drive, from Mount Airy Estates to the Town of Windsor, dated December 9th, 2019, recorded in Orange County Clerk's Office, 25th day of March, 2020, on Libre 14/7/22 at page 1624. This is some roads we're taking over in Mount Airy Estates. Have no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor, receive and file with the Town Clerk the attached deed from Michael Williams and Sherry Williams to the Town of New Windsor, dated October 13th, 2018, and recording Orange County Clerk's Office on the 9th day of March, 2020, in Libre 14/7/14 at page 1889. 178.474 square feet piece of land intended to be merged into and known as part of McKinley Court. This is a little piece of property that we needed to obtain from a property owner out there to properly accept the road. No objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor shall receive and file the attached change order number 1 from Sullivan County Paving and Construction, extending the date of substantial completion to May 31st, 2020, and the date of ready for final payment to June 30th, 2020, for the project commonly known as replacing the Lake Road Bridge over Metro North Railroad. This is just a time extension for the folks doing that Lake Road Bridge. Hopefully, mercifully, it'll be done soon. No objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor shall receive and file the attached amended notice of claim filed in accordance with the Federal Tort Claims Act in the matter of Town of Windsor versus the United States of America through the Department of Defense and the United States Army, Air Force, and Air National Guard. Said notice seeks damage in the amount of $4,614,808.17. This has to do with the contamination of the Butterfield well that we have filed a notice of claim that we plan to sue the federal government for that contamination. Okay, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board of Town of Windsor hereby authorize the adoption of the bond resolution, which amends the bond resolution adopted on November 17, 2018, increasing the appropriation of an authorization of issuing bonds to an amount not to exceed $3.5 million for surveys, preliminary and detailed plan specification estimates necessary for planning for improvements of the sewer treatment plant in accordance with the amended bond resolution. Here to attach. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Moreau,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Okay, this is just allowing us to borrow some more money if we have to, which I'm hoping we don't have to regarding this planning for the sewer plant expansion. Another receiving file. Hearing no objections, Town Board, Town of Windsor, receiving file, the town clerk, the attached sealed bids received in public open on April 23rd, 2020 for the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant disinfection system improvements project. Okay, so now here's some awarding of things. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor award the bid for contract 1G, general construction for the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant disinfection system improvements project in the amount of $2,193,611 to the Blue Heron Construction as the lowest responsible bidder in accordance with the General Municipal Law, Section 103, as recommended by McCoy as consulting engineers in the attached correspondence. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Councilman Riggenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Moreau,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Thank you.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor award the bid for contract 1M, which is the mechanical construction for the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant disinfection system improvement project in the amount of $43,000 to D&J Heating and Conditioning as the lowest responsible bidder in accordance with the General Municipal Law, Section 103, as recommended by McCoy House Consulting Engineers in the attached correspondence. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Moreau,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor award the bid for contract 20, which is the electric construction for the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant disinfection system improvement project in the amount of $161,600. Lowest responsible bidder in accordance with the General Municipal Law, Section 103. McGoey Hauser, Edsel, Consulting Engineers, and the attached correspondence. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti, Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Unmute yourself.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. All right, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor award the bid for contract 1B, which is the plumbing construction for the Caesars Lane wastewater treatment plant disinfectant system improvements project in the amount of $101,200. Southeast Plumbing as the lowest responsible bidder in accordance with the General Municipal Law, Section 103, as recommended by McCoy Hauser, Edsel, Consulting Engineers. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Moreau,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. Okay, those last four motions all have to do with the beginning of this process of this dechlorination. And it had to be 4 different bids, and they come in much lower than our engineers had anticipated. So hopefully we'll save some money on that end. All right, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor award the contracts for the special inspections required by New York State Building Code for projects to Tectonic at the rates identified as annex rate schedule as recommended by McCoy Hauser, Edsel, Consulting Engineers, as in the attached correspondence. Motion.
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Riggenbaum,
Move. Yes.
Councilman Moreau,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this is a requirement by the New York State, and there has to be some inspections. It's usually of the concrete inspections. We're assuming this is going to come in, it's kind of time material thing around 15,000. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, authorize the town clerk advertised pursuant to law calling for sealed bids for standby generator project, which shall be received in public open on the 18th day of June at 1 p.m. local time at the office of the New Windsor Town Clerk, 555 Union Avenue, New Windsor, New York, in recognition of Executive Order 202.11. However, the bid opening will not be open to the public. If practical, the town will try to live stream bid opening on Facebook at facebook.com, New Windsor, New York. The Town Board, Town of Windsor reserves the right to reject any and all bids. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Sorry, Sylvia.
Well,
Roll call.
he stole it, Sylvia.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. This is for a total of these 9 generator projects, and it's been a long time in the works, but we're finally going to get this thing going. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, amend the motion adopting at the regular Town Board meeting on June 6, 2018, establishing standard work days for elected and appointed officials. The attached amendment schedule hereby establishes the standard work days for elected and appointed officials of the Town Board, hereby certifies receipt of records of work activities, or the town maintains a record of actual work. The day's work shall be reported to New York State and local employees retirement system based on the record of activities maintained and submitted by these officials to the clerk of this body, or based on the records maintained by the town as actual time worked. Motion?
Move.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this has to do with those elected officials who participate in the retirement system, of which I'm not one. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, hereby introduce and attach a proposed local law entitled No Smoking on Town Property, authorize the supervisor to execute the attached full environmental assessment form, declare itself to be lead agency under SEQA for review of this action, determine that this is unlisted action, and call a public hearing on the proposed local law set for July 1st, 2020 at 7:00 p.m. in the New Windsor Town Hall, 555 Union Avenue, New Windsor, New York, in accordance with the resolution annexed here too. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes. This public hearing will be, the board is heading for a no smoking ban on all town property. Mostly we're concerned about the parks. So this public hearing will be July 1st. I'd like to thank town attorney for his efforts in putting this local law together. Also keeping me here till probably 8:30 tonight. It was great public hearings. But anyway, Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor, authorize the supervisor to execute the attached agreement between the County of Orange and Town of Windsor for participation in Orange County's interoperable digital trunk radio communication system, upgrade P25 system to improve communication capabilities within the Orange County. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this is an agreement between the town and the county regarding police radios. We're going to save some considerable amount of money, but there were some issues that the police chief had that he asked the town attorney to work out, and the town attorney worked it out. So we are the last police department signing on to this county agreement with the radios, and we'll save some money, but we wanted to make sure that we weren't going to reduce our capabilities of responding to our residents' complaints. All right, Chair will entertain a motion. Whereas on April 1st, 2020, Town Board, Town of Windsor authorized the advertisement of sealed bids for one 2020 or newer Harley Davidson electric glide motorcycle. And whereas such bids were received in public open on April 30th, 2020 at 10 a.m. Whereas only one bid was received, whereas the Town of New Windsor reserved the right to reject any and all bids. Now therefore be resolved, the Town of New Windsor hereby rejects all bids received. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Moreau,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this is a proposal. We were going to buy a new police motorcycle, but this pandemic issue has certainly caught our attention, so we're going to put this purchase off for a while and see how our budget is as we get further into the year, but things do not look good. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor hereby extend a temporary moratorium for 1 6-month period in accordance with the resolution attached. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Moreau,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, so this is an extension of the 3-month moratorium that we put in place. And now it'll be in place for another 6-month period while we try to get our arms around what's been going on with this development in town. So it gives us 6 more months to see where we're going. All right, we have a receiving file. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor shall receive and file the attached application from Diversified Properties LLC and its affiliate DP Stonegate LLC for administrative relief from local law 1/2020 entitled a local law to establish a temporary moratorium on all developmental approvals. So I'll speak to this in a minute. Chair will entertain a motion, Town Board, Town of Windsor hereby call a public hearing on the request of Diversified Properties LLC and its affiliate DP Stonegate for administrative relief from local law 1/2020 temporary moratorium. Said public hearing will be held on June 3rd, 2020, 7 p.m. either in person or in the Town Hall, 555 Union Avenue, in Windsor, New York, by video conference or teleconference via Cisco WebEx on the same date and time, with a link to log in and participate by computer and a phone number and access code to call in. Participate by telephone made available to the public by the town clerk in a timely manner pursuant to law. Motion?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Councilman Regenbaum,
Yes.
Councilman Moreau,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Yes, this will be another public hearing, just as we had tonight for Dr. Fugo, where these folks from Diversified can come in and speak to their request for a relief from the moratorium. All right, so the receiving file. Hearing no objection, Town Board, Town of Windsor receiving file with the town clerk, the attached joint petition of American Water Works Company, Inc. and New York American Water Works, Inc. and Liberty Utilities Eastern Waterworks Holdings Corporation for an order from the New York Public Service Commission approving the acquisition of Liberty Utilities Eastern Water Holdings Corporation of 100% of the New York Water Company Incorporated, issued an outstanding capital stock and issuance of a long-term bond. Okay, so this has to do with Beaver Dam and this one company is just taking over another company. That's all it has to do with. Receiving file, hearing no objections, Town Board, Town of Windsor shall receive and file with the town clerk the attached monthly reports for the following departments. Justice Calderon, months of March and April 2020. Justice Myers, month of March and April 2020. Police Department, Building Department, Recreation Department, Tax Receiver, Utility Report, Tax Receiver, Monthly Tax Statement, Town Clerk, and the Windsor Volunteer Ambulance, all of the month of April 2020. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to open up for a public forum, and if there's anybody that wants to speak or address anything, we will listen. Anybody on?
3 people from the public on the WebEx right now. I'm gonna unmute all 3.
Okay.
All 3 from the public are unmuted. Anybody like to speak? No?
Any no emails? Nothing?
We have 1 email.
One?
Yep.
Anything I need to address now?
Just in support of the smoking ban, the comment.
Oh, in support of the okay, so someone just submitted a email. I'll read it quick. Good evening, Supervisor Myers, Councilmen and Councilwoman.
Thank you.
My name is Megan DuBois O'Connor, Director of COWR against tobacco and resident of the Windsor.
Grace Meeker.
Has left the meeting.
That's okay. I'm still here. Nearly 20 years. I want to thank you for your support and interest in considering the smoking and vape-free law ban for the town of the Windsor Municipal Recreation Town-owned buildings. I've spoken to Recreation Director Matt Veronese in great detail and shared our tobacco control resources, including our tool, complimentary signage, and policy support development, all of which are free. Several of our local municipalities in Orange County around the state have adopted the smoking and vape-free policy. I look forward to assisting the town any way I can. Commend the town for taking these steps to protect our youth and those who are affected by secondhand smoke. Signed by Megan Boyce. O'Connor. The board members want to have anything that they want to say? Huh.
I do, George, really quick. Just, I know, it's always me. But no, I just want to, actually on behalf of, I guess, the town employees, if you will, thank you for all the safeguards you've taken during this coronavirus for all the employees and their families, if you will. With the work hours restricting people coming to town hall, it seemed like it's actually worked a lot and I'm getting a lot of positive things from a lot of the employees. So thank you for that.
Yeah, well, it wasn't just me. I mean, the board members were involved. We talked about a lot of things and, how we could protect our employees. And we did get out ahead of this. When you look at other municipalities, we were out front real early and we kind of recognized that things were not going to be well. As we getting out in front a little bit about how the economics are not going to be well either. So we've had some meetings with our union representatives and our town employees, and everybody seems to understand the wall that the town board back is up against. So I think as the next couple of months pass by, we'll have a much better idea as to what or how deep the hole is that we're in. But just from listening to federal government officials and the state officials and the county officials, I don't see us getting a lot of help from anybody. They all seem to be in dire straits too. So as I mentioned to all the employees and department heads and the town board, we're all in this together. It's not like, okay, it's just me and then there's this guy and that one. I mean, it's from the town board right down to the folks who work with us. We're all in this together. And we're going to try and make it right for everybody. I mean, the board members have expressed to me, and it's been my belief that the absolute last thing we ever want to do is take somebody's job away from them. So we're going to do everything we can, and there's been some cooperation on the end of our employees on their end. They've cut back on the overtime. We're seeing a little bit of a light here, and we also realize that there's only so much we can ask of taxpayers too. I mean, lots of these people don't have their jobs anymore, and the small businesses are in dire straits. So the next, I would say 4 or 5, 6 months are not going to be great for us, but this board is going to do everything we can to make things right for everybody. And that's why we're here. That's our job. So I appreciate that, Stephen, but it's my job and your job to make sure that these people are safe. And we did that, and we'll continue to do it. So as you can see, when I had my coughing fit, I'm only good, David, for about 30 minutes. At that point, my body shuts down. I don't like to go on much longer. So you and Patrick Mangan think that I can do this for 2 or 3 hours. This is impossible. It's only an hour. It's only an hour, he said. Okay, so with that, let me say goodbye to everybody. Chair will entertain a motion. Town board, Town of New Windsor will join the town board meeting at 8:05. It sounds like 11:05. 8:05. Motion? Motion?
Sorry.
We thought you wanted to keep.
Councilman Rosabella,
Yes.
Monroe,
Yes.
Councilman Bedetti,
Yes.
Councilwoman Santiago,
Yes.
Supervisor Myers.
Mercifully, yes. Okay, we done, Patrick?